Now, if you happen to hear some noise in the background, it's because it's pretty hot in my room, so I put the fan in my window. But yeah, that's all I can say. Um, yeah. Sixers, you bums never learned your lesson, did you? I made my series recap video last year about talking about how y'all were sad and terrible with Ben Simmons. You didn't learn your lesson, did you? Y'all thought James Harden was that guy, huh? Y'all thought James Harden was that dude. Oh man, these bums are terrible, bro. Okay, but anyways, what's up, guys? This is episode, I guess, 5 of series recap. Um, I was gonna make my videos on the Sixers and T Wolves, but I kind of pushed it back a bit. I mean, the Sixers and Grizzlies, but I kind of had to push it back a bit because I have been super busy with school and I cannot put my eggs in one basket. I'm kind of like, try to space things out type of guy. You know what I mean? But now that I'm here, let's talk about how terrible the Sixers are. Now, obviously, their season concluded on Thursday with their Game Six loss against Miami. But even if I knew that they were going to lose to the Heat, I thought it was going to go 7. I thought Embiid was going to make a statement game in Game 5. But, nah, that didn't happen. Fuck. I want to say a whole lot of shit. Okay. Now I'm starting to get back. Um, I just had some Ben and Jerry's before recording this video. But, Ben and Jerry's, go get you some. I'm not sponsored, by the way. Um, yeah. I knew this team was going to head for disaster as soon as I saw them lose games 4 and 5 to the Toronto Raptors. All right. And I thought Toronto honestly was going to make some history by being the first team to come back down 3-0. And especially since Doc Rivers came out and started bloviating about, oh, well, when I blew a 3-1 lead with the Magic, no one talked about how we were great for an 8 seed, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And then who else? When we blew that 3-1 lead, Chris Paul was hurt, and then when we blew another 3-1 lead, I'm surprised he actually didn't make excuses for blowing that 3-1 lead in the bubble. I'm actually surprised. He somehow, oh my gosh, he actually took some accountability there, but. Come on, bro. Doc Rivers ain't that guy anymore. I'm sorry. Whatever better coaching days he once had, those are way past him now, buddy. Doc Rivers is an overrated coach. I'm so glad the Lakers didn't get him because we don't need a choking coach with the Clipper curse in our locker room. Then again, the Lakers have been cursed since we got Russell Westbrook, and we basically traded half our roster for our big 3 to happen, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, James Harden was terrible these whole playoffs. Can we talk about him for a sec? Now, you may be looking at his stats and saying, well, how can you say he was terrible? He shot 40% from the field, 37% from 3, and 89% from the line, which is pretty good, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. And averaging 18.6, 18.8 a game, along with a double-digit assist or damn near double-digit assist is pretty good. But go beyond the box score. When the series got tougher against Miami, he looked absolutely lifeless. And look no further than Game 5, bro. Oh my goodness. I didn't like Joel Embiid's body language that game, first of all, but I just knew when they were going to lose this game when I saw, okay, Joel Embiid was already up the floor. James Harden was bringing the ball up. Him, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, and another player, I think it was Thibault, they were still standing at behind the half court line. Just walking, like, they were looking at him like, James, where the fuck do I go? Like, ooh, that rubbed me off the wrong way, bro. That was so bad. And Embiid's body language, like, credit to him for not walking out, but he probably wanted to, in his own mind, he probably walked out the same way LeBron walked out in that Game 5 victory, or that Game 5 loss, excuse me, against the Phoenix Suns last year. It looked like he wanted to do that. Like, I didn't like Joel Embiid's body language at all because Joe Embiid, if you want to be the MVP, you can't be coming out and having these sorry performances like that. Like, James Harden is washed. All right, he's not that same guy. And hey, James, here's how you could really get better. All right, put down put down your phone. Stop trying to text Lil Baby. Stop trying to, you know what I'm saying, uh, go to nightclubs with like Lil Baby and Travis and uh, get some popcorn, uh, alcohol, wings, and quarter pounders, and get some girls from the strip clubs. Can you stop doing that and actually focus on getting your ass in the gym, please? But seriously though, going back to Joel Embiid, I didn't like his body language at all. Like, dude, look at these stats from the first round against the Toronto Raptors. Okay. He had 31 in game 2. He had 33 in game 3, including that game-winning 3. He was pretty bad in games 4 and 5, but he bounced back in game 6 where he went 33 and 10. So he averaged 30, 26 and 11, which not bad. It's not that big of a drop off from what he was in the regular season, 30.6. But oh my gosh, if you look down the line, I get it. He had an orbital fracture and what else? He had a torn ligament in his thumb, and then he's had some back issues. So I'll give him some leeway. But Charles Barkley said best. Joel Embiid played distracted. He played distracted. Like, he was letting all the little things bother him. He was pouting and complaining to the officials. Again, I get it. He was hurt, but dude, you're the leader of the team. They go as you go. When you start complaining to the official, like, all your teammates are gonna start complaining. When you show bad body language on the offensive end and the defensive end, everybody, well, unless your name is Tyrese Maxey, I think Ty Max goes as Ty Max goes, because that kid has a different motor in him than the rest of these bums on the Sixers. But Joel Embiid, you have the talent to be the best big man in basketball, and you expect me to do something with 17 points and 5 rebounds in a critical game 5? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Like, I know you ain't trying to play with my emotions. You ain't trying to play with the emotions of your Philly fans and even NBA fans who will put you and Giannis as the two best, or they will put you with Giannis as the best player in the NBA. Come on, Embiid. I know you and Jimmy Butler have a lot of respect for each other, but I definitely lost some respect for Embiid after this performance. Again, I know he was injured, but let's think about it for a sec. This has been his MO. Injuries at the worst possible times has been his MO. He's up there with Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard. When at the most critical, important time, he gets injured. I mean, not to talk down the guy. I mean, I hope he's okay, and I hope he's making a recovery, and he's doing everything to get that thumb repaired, and he had some time to heal his orbital fracture. I'm not even trying to be an asshole towards him and insult his injuries, but even then, I didn't like his body language. Like, he didn't look like he wanted to at least lead by example. Set the tone on defense. At least put in some effort. I mean, look, he didn't put any effort. James Harden did not put in any effort at all. Like, bro was walking the ball up in a game 6. He didn't even want to push the ball. Like, the guy just checked out. He only had 11 points and he was over 2 in the second half. That's not even a choke job. At least when James Harden choked in the series against, whether you want to talk about San Antonio in 2017, Golden State multiple times, Milwaukee last year when he was with Brooklyn, like, yeah, you could argue he choked, but at least he attempted some shots. At least he tried to, um, try to find his rhythm. And just shots didn't go his way. But you can't call this a choke job. You can't call this in any possibility a choke job because this was just flat out. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in at least taking some shots and making some shots to help my team win this game. It's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna choke anyway, so what the fuck does it matter? Like, bro, Harden just really pissed me off. And he even pissed me off when he left Brooklyn in the fashion he did. Y'all feel me? Like, I get it. Kyrie was not vaccinated. I'm not going to try to force my own beliefs. If you want to get vaccinated, I encourage it. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm not even going to get that. I'm not even going to get in any discussion with that. So don't even make it about that. We are talking about James Harden, who a lot of people put him as one of the best, if not the best scorer the league has ever seen since guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and to a certain extent LeBron. Like, he's one of the best players the league has ever seen since those three. 2 years ago, in 2018 and 19, or fuck. Okay, let me date this back accurately so I can put a little more context. 2017-18, he won the MVP, and due to him and Chris Paul's efforts, the Rockets were the best team in the NBA. Not even in the West, the best team in the NBA, similar to what we are seeing with the Phoenix Suns with Devin Booker, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton and Bridges and all those guys. What else? 2018-19, he led the league in scoring at 36.1. Again, he was also in MVP discussions. 2019-20, led the league in scoring again. I don't think he was in any MVP discussions at this point because of how good LeBron's Lakers were and how good Giannis and his Bucks were. So, and how good Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers were. A year after that, since Houston, he's only won 2 playoff series. 2 playoff series. Last year was against Boston. This year it was against Toronto. He wanted to win. He quote unquote wanted to win, but he absolutely shows no intangibles of being a winner, or at least giving a shit about winning, dude. Like, bruh, fuck his homie on, like, dead ass. Oh yeah, he's probably texting. He's probably at the clubs with Lil Baby and Travis, probably smoking a joint for all I care. Ugh. Joel Embiid was bad too. Like, since he got those injuries, he dropped off a cliff. He didn't even want to show any effort. Like, I get it, you're injured, but at least show some damn heart out there. Show that you at least care about this team. Not pout to the officials. Not play like you're Kevin Durant. I understand you got a bag, and there are times where you feel like you can play like him, but you're not Kevin Durant. You're as big as Giannis, and Giannis is tougher than you. Flat out, Giannis is tougher than you, bro. Tobias Harris, Walmart J. Cole. I have a soft spot for Tobias because he looks and sounds like J. Cole, and J. Cole is one of my favorite rappers. But come on, bro. How did he even earn that money in the first place? One good season with the Clippers, where he was virtually the Clippers MVP, alongside Lou Williams. Obviously, before they got Kawhi Leonard, and he got $180 million. Well, what am I supposed to do with his mid performances? Like, I remember last year, y'all, like, Tobias Harris scored 4 points in that game 5 where they blew a 26-point lead. Tobias Harris, dog, like, oh. What the hell am I supposed to do with 17.2 in the regular season? What am I supposed to do with that? I get it, like, he averaged 19 points the last 2 seasons. This year, no, dude, like, oh, this is making me cringe just looking at his stats. How did he even earn that money? I get it. He played under. Yeah, he played good game one in Toronto. Yeah, he played good game one against Washington last year. He played good in game one. So for all I know, Tobias is Michael Jordan. Is the Michael Jordan of game ones, from based on what I'm seeing. He's the Michael Jordan of game ones, and everything else he's just another guy out there. 9 points in game three in the series versus the Heat after the first two games. 9 points in game three, 13 in game four, 12 in game five, 14 in game six. And he's a max contract player. To put this into context, y'all, like my very first video I did on this channel was who won that Tobias Harris trade. Was it the Clippers or the Sixers? I'm not even gonna link. I'm not even gonna post a link to that video because it's just an eyesore to watch now. Because I was like, how the fuck do I do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't believe I'm saying this as a Laker fan. But even some who are Laker fans will agree the Clippers won that Tobias Harris trade. And I think it should be obvious because the Clippers made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. Granted, mostly because of Kawhi until he got hurt. And then Philly couldn't even make it past Trae Young. And Trae Young shot 5 of 23. 5 of 23. You couldn't even beat that. That's just sad, man. The Clippers won that trade easily. Even if they don't win a championship, this is a W for the Clippers. For a franchise that is as known for taking L's, they took a big W. They took another W, getting rid of Doc Rivers and drafting Terrence Mann. You know, the Clippers have gotten some W's for a franchise that's known for taking L's. They got some pretty solid W's throughout the last since blowing that 3-1 lead. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, oh. Now let's talk about the James Harden trade, shall we? Look, as much as Kevin Durant played like absolute trash in that Boston series, like he saw something that made actually no, let me backtrack. As much as Kyrie and KD played like trash in the Celtics series and how much of an airhead Joe Tsai has become and how much of an airhead Steve Nash is as a coach, they all have I can credit them for this one thing. They saw something in James Harden that made them feel like that yeah, he ain't what he's cracked up to be. I highly doubt we can win a championship with this guy being part of our roster. They saw that. They saw Harden coming in to camp out of shape. They saw Harden complaining about teammates. Obviously, we already discussed that earlier in this episode, so refer to that. And then Brooklyn traded him. Like, we'll take a guy that actually plays defense. We'll take a guy that knows how to facilitate the offense. Now, look, I said Ben Simmons is garbage as hell, and I still somewhat believe that because I do believe that is somewhat true to this extent. I get he's an NBA player, you know, whatever. But I can say this though: the Sixers would not have been first in the East last year if it wasn't for Ben Simmons and his contributions defensively, as well as being a decent facilitator for the offense. But the problem with him is that he couldn't even shoot a lick from outside or even attempt to shoot from outside. That's what pissed me off about Ben Simmons. Now, with Kyrie and KD, could it be a different story? Yes. I think that if the Nets play their cards right, and I'm going to make my video probably during the offseason about what the Brooklyn Nets should do again, because I did last year and they didn't even listen, so I highly doubt they'll listen to the next one because I'm not a GM. I get that. I kind of respect that. But if they want this trade to work, it's going to come down to this. Ben's health, Kyrie and KD's health. Obviously, those three need a ball out. And roster construction. Because Ben Simmons is not going to solve the Nets and their defensive issues they have been plagued with the last 2 years since making the trade for James Harden. They were bad defensively. But I believe with Ben Simmons, if you play your cards right, this could be the best trade you guys have ever done during the Kyrie KD era. But enough about the Nets. Back to our regularly scheduled program, and back to the team at hand, the Philly Dorkia 70 LIXERS, because that's their new name now. Philly Dorkia. Daryl Morey has his head stuck up his ass, bro. Like, James Harden is not the same player he was in Houston. Joel Embiid came out and said he's not the same player he was in Houston. And I'm trying to be quiet because it's 11 at night and I came home from work. So I don't want to wake up my neighbors and I don't want to wake up my mom or dad because they might get pissed at me that I'm like raving toward the camera. But, dog, like, ooh, this season was just a total L. Not just for the Nets, but for the Sixers as well. Like, even before they got James Harden, they were kind of a mid team. You know what I mean? Like, I know Tyrese Maxey is good. I love Tyrese. Tobias Harris was decent for stretches, but again, he's just proven that he should have signed that Clippers extension that was offered to him back in 2018, where he got $80 million for 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. I actually don't know. I'm like looking at their roster. I'm gonna look at the 76ers payroll, and once I look at it, it's probably gonna make me feel like, man, where do they go? Like, how do they get better? Like, look, James Harden is going to have $47 million on his contract, which he probably wants to test out free agency. Because he said that when he was with the Nets. I still think he believes that now. And I don't think he's going to say that while he's in a Philadelphia 76er uniform, because their fans are so relentless that you say the wrong thing, and even if you play bad, you're going to get booed. And they're gonna forever hate you for it. Just like they forever hate Ben Simmons now, because Ben Simmons is simply not that guy. He's not the guy to pair with Joel Embiid. And also because of what happened in that Game 7 versus Atlanta. So not only that Game 7, that whole entire series against the Atlanta Hawks. I want to say after Game 3, because Game 3 of that series, Ben was pretty good. But oh my goodness. James Harden's making $44 million this year. He'll make $47 million next year. Tobias Harris is making $35 million, and next year he'll be making $37 million. In the season after, he'll be making $39 million. And Joel Embiid, he'll be making $43 million, $47 million, and $50 million from 2023 to 2026. I'm looking at this damn roster. I'm like, where do they go? How do they get better? Their payroll's absolutely going to be squashed because of those three fat contracts. And if Philly gives James Harden the max extension, you could kiss Philly's future goodbye. Goodbye. No championship in sight anytime soon if they give James Harden that max extension. And going back to James Harden, can we stop defending him and saying, well, Harden has had great playoff series against the Warriors? Yeah, he averaged 35 against the Warriors, but do you guys not see? Are you guys not watching the games? Game 6 in Houston, he flat out choked. Game 5 against the Golden State team in 2015, he choked. Game 6 against the Spurs in 2017, he choked. He chokes more often than not. Even if he scores 30 plus points, he still choked. He lost. Like, there's this one comment saying, well, Harden's had a great playoff series. And yada, yada, yada. Harden forced a Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors, who swept the Cavaliers. I'm like, yeah, but did he win that series? And now he tried to backtrack and say, well, wins are a team stat, buddy. I'm just like, no shit, genius. Like, obviously it's a team sport, but you're giving me all these stats about, oh, well, James Harden is the best player in the league. James Harden's giving you 36 and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, okay, let me make that same argument for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant gave us his three greatest stretches of basketball he's ever played in his career. I have never seen KD play as elite and as great of a scorer as what I saw in games 5 through 7 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Having said that, he still lost. He lost in overtime. He choked on the last shot. He choked the whole damn overtime, and partially because, yeah, he hit the wall. But he still lost. Ain't no moral victory from that. Ain't no moral victory from consistently choking in the series the way he does. Ain't no moral victory. And Joel Embiid, Giannis is better. Jokic is better. Stop it. I love Joel Embiid, but him and Jokic, Giannis and Jokic, they don't play this sorry. They don't ever quit on plays. They never give up. They are not Giannis and Jimmy Butler. Those guys never take plays off. Well, Giannis is in a league of his own when it comes to fuck it. You know what I'm trying to say at this point, bro. Like, ooh, this is a long enough episode as it is. I bet you guys get the point now, but Joel Embiid, I don't know when he's gonna stay healthy. James Harden is not the same player. He's pretty much better off being a Rondo off the bench because he is not that guy as a star anymore, and his time is up, bro. Dude is aging in dog years, dog. Like, bro, he's 32 going into 47. Like, that's how bad he played. Like, he's playing like Vince Carter in his final years in the league. And I don't think even Vince would even play this sorry. James Harden's washed, bro. Like, don't even get me started with, oh, well, you're saying, 22 and 10 is washed. With any other player, you would say that's good. Okay, fair enough. But we are talking about James Harden. Can we stop using stats as excuses to why? How do you say? Can we stop using stats as a point against an argument that a player's aging and a player's washed before our very eyes? Yeah, James Harden played pretty good based on stats, but if you actually watch the games, he didn't play well. There were times that it's just like it feels like it. There were times in the regular season, even when he was with Brooklyn, he struggled to get shots off. He struggled to get shots. Period. He doesn't have the same quickness. His step back is so damn unreliable now. It's same with Russ too. A lot like, can we stop lowering the bar and using stats as a point of argument against, or as a counter argument against a legit argument? Can we stop using stats? Because LeBron kind of stunk this year, and he averaged 30 a game. He stunk because he didn't make the playoffs. He stunk because he didn't play any defense, and he stunk because he watches his team suffer, even if he plays well. So 30 points a game, or 22 and 10, or 18, throw those stats out the window. Throw those stats out the window and just say they played bad. Because if you at least do that, you might as well gain some respect back. Okay. And Joel Embiid, stop complaining about MVP and actually worry about winning a damn championship. But I'll be kind of nice to him. I will say, get healthy, Joel, and come back stronger. I hope you do. And Tobias Harris, be thankful that I have a soft spot for you because you look and sound like J. Cole. Be thankful I have a soft spot, because if you didn't, I would be giving you a lot of heat. No pun intended, because you did lose to the Miami Heat, but you get what I mean. This episode is like getting dragged. This is getting dragged longer than it needs to be. So I hope you guys get the point. My next video will be talking about the Grizzlies. Whenever that video is released, I will release it. Probably I will do it Sunday morning as the Bucks-Celtics game is going on, or probably before that. I don't know, but whatever happens at this point with this channel, because that's how my channel has been based on what I did with my Norman Powell video, and then fucking what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.